you mentioned the Futureproof event, and I think it ties kind of all that we discussed here
Yeah.
back to being a creator. And now we have kind of this understanding that it's not just a content creator, but kind of a shaper of reality, or um, it's
Mm-hmm.
both things, right?
Actually, it does tie into everything we've talked about. And in-person events have been a lot of fun for me, and they've been very significant in my educational path. So way back in my magic days as a child, from age 10 to 15, I attended a lot of magic conventions. And, you can go on YouTube or buy a book and learn some of the secrets of magic. Or I was lucky enough to have a mentor. But when I became part of the Vancouver Magic Circle and the International Brotherhood of Magicians, I got to spend a lot of time in whole groups of people attending magic lectures and being immersed in that crowd, where instead of just learning, like, oh, here's the secret to this card trick, or here's the secret to this rope trick, it was more, there's deeper secrets to get access to. And so it's like, how about the secrets of how to be a performer on stage presenting a magic trick? To entertain, not just to show a card trick, but how to speak in front of a crowd, how to get gigs, how to be a professional magician, how to get jobs. There's all kinds of levels of secrets, so to say, to any given type of magic. So mastering a craft, there would be like guilds in the ancient days where you join up with a guild and you're learning the secrets, you're learning the magic of the craft. And that would be through apprenticeship. And so there's a lot more to it than what you can read in a book. And I would say the same is true for, let's say, being a content creator or whatever type of creator. To me, it was so impactful to go to those magic conventions. Those are like core memories for me. And then, as you said, I think the whole psychedelic discussion can come up in another conversation in the future. But when I had those early psychedelic experiences, I felt kind of alone and misunderstood by the people close to me. And then I found the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference happening in Vancouver in 2016, so 10 years ago now. And I attended that, and I met like 300 people. Some of them were scientists, some of them were professional therapists, some of them were just people like me who were young explorers trying to find meaning in life. And they found that eating some mushrooms was a profound experience. So suddenly, I wasn't alone. It was credible. I was surrounded by people who understood. This is something real. And my parents one day came to that conference with me, and they were a little less worried after that. They understood, oh, there's people actually implementing psychedelics in therapy. Very credible research happening. Very profound healing taking place. And so I would say mushrooms helped me quit smoking. I would say mushrooms, to some degree, helped me come to terms with my mortality. And mushrooms have helped me on this meaning-making journey. So it was so profound to find myself in a room with hundreds of other people who understood that. This is something valid. And so then, about 6 months ago, I was meeting regularly with a group of writers online, and most of us influenced by people like Dan Koe, who is, one of the great philosophers of the modern creator economy. His work is very impressive. His book, Purpose and Profit, I would highly recommend to everybody who's seeking an entrepreneurial path. It's a good little collection of essays, as well as his book, The Art of Focus. But through my writing, and as Dan was developing his software, which is now called Eden, I was getting noticed by him. And then we ended up in contact, and then we ended up becoming fairly well acquainted, and we've gotten together in person now a couple of times. And so 6 months ago, I thought I would like there to be an in-person event for the creator economy. And I know there's lots of different events out there. There's different entrepreneurial summits and creator events around the world. But Dan's audience is quite unique in that he's kind of taken a lot of people who are very philosophically oriented, searching for deeper meaning in life, and showed them very practical business skills. And, also like fitness is big for him. So fitness, business, and philosophy all intertwined very nicely into some very clear pathways of how to find your way as a creator. And so I really appreciate Dan for that. And I reached out to him and said, hey, we want to do an in-person conference in Vancouver, and we'd like you to come. And he was immediately very supportive of the idea. He said, I'll be there. And then I got in contact with some others, like Dan Goldfield and Brian Meyerhofer, Kimi Honora. There's a list of speakers who all said, yes, count me in. And this is incredible because this is a first-time event, and most of these speakers, they've done very well with their work online, and they've produced an income doing work that's meaningful to them, but they haven't done a lot of public speaking on stage. So they all saw it as kind of an opportunity and a great chance to get together. So instead of asking for a speaker fee, which, someone like, Gary Vaynerchuk, who's done lots of public speaking, would charge a lot of money to speak at an event, generally. All of these people I reached out to were just excited about the idea. And, as long as I said I'd cover some travel expense, they said, count me in. So that's very exciting. And the way I see it, I sort of cultivated this tribe of mentors for myself, and I'm looking to bring as many people as possible with me on this journey. How can we unblock as many creators as possible? How can we allow as many people to find creative independence and to make a pathway for themselves that is more fulfilling and maybe redeems them from this state of disoriented confusion that we've talked about. And to me, like, working in an office cubicle for 40 years was always not an option. And so I know there's a lot of other people who are wanting to find a different way. And the creator economy presents this incredible time of opportunity for entrepreneurship to be more accessible, right? So I've started building a reasonable sized audience and building some community and all these incredible relationships, someone like you inviting me on their podcast, but it hasn't required a lot of startup capital, right? For me, it's really just required that I keep my expenses as low as possible to have a lot of free time. But even if you have a full-time job, Dan created the 2-hour writer for that reason. If you can find 1 or 2 hours a day to start, carving out time for your meaningful creative work, that will eventually compound into something that allows you to become free from, if you're not happy with employment, then to become free from it. So that's the goal, is to invite people to get immersed in this tribe of people who are either teaching what they've learned by getting fairly far in the creator economy, or who are still just fighting for it, like you and I, and trying to figure out how are we going to build something fulfilling and meaningful and give our gifts to the world and find out, what do we have to offer? Everyone has something beautiful to offer, and everyone has the potential to unleash creativity in their lives. and it's just so fulfilling, and it'll improve the world, right? The more people who find access to that, and give their gifts to the world, we all benefit from that. We all benefit when someone profits by producing value for others. So that's what we're doing. We're meeting in Vancouver this June. The event is called the Futureproof Creator Summit, and June 5th to 7th. So it's 3 days long. It begins at 1 o'clock on the Friday, and it ends at about 4 p.m. on the Sunday. And there'll be a bunch of incredible keynote presentations from our speakers, and there will be a bunch of opportunities to play some games and network with each other and find your tribe. So that's the idea, man.
That's awesome.
People can find out all they need to know about that at thelivinginternet.com. And yeah, that's where I would send them to find out more.
Awesome, man. Is it in Vancouver, you said?
Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And it's
That's
the
awesome.
Sheraton Vancouver Airport Hotel, which is about 10 minutes from the airport. There's a free shuttle for hotel guests to get to the venue.